When I was doing police accountability, people felt like, man, they're going to try to kill you. I was like, there's nobody that can kill me. I have an assignment. And after I'm finished with the assignment, I'll go home on my own accord. Right. Mm-hmm. But the difference is, and this is a very, very difficult thing. This makes you look like an outsider. What I mean by that is there are thought processes within our community about money, about what success is, mm-hmm. right? I'm going to achieve success. And a lot of our people have been able to achieve a certain amount of success through entertainment, through sports, some businessmen, right? So I always say this. How I operate is with the mind of a conqueror. Now follow me, okay? Mm-hmm. I don't operate with these two things that are elevated within our communities. What's elevated in our community is wealth, the rich man, and the other thing is the gangster. Like those things are like elevated big deals in our community, right? And I said, those two characters have different mindsets. A gangster has a mindset that he wants to let people know that he is to fear him, that he can take you out of here, right? And he's tough and don't mess around with me. A rich man has to know how to maneuver. He has to know the secrets of capitalism, maybe how to trick you out of money or whatever, right? But he has to understand he moves a certain kind of way. Both those guys move a certain kind of way. And a lot of times those paths don't cross. Sometimes they do. But I'm saying the mindset of each one of those figures is something that we embrace in our community.
Right.
We know nothing about the mindset of a conqueror, right? Right. So I often, when I have a group, which I call culture, we're building culture back, which is called the remnant, right? Right. And what I teach, part of what I teach is a conqueror's mindset because I've operated in that, right? Yeah. So what's the difference? Well, I often say, I want you to understand this. If you look throughout history and you see empires that existed, empires are like the United States is an empire. Mm-hmm. It's not just a country, it's an empire. Well, what do you mean? Well, historically, empires have conquered lands and people. That's what empires do. They conquer lands and people. Right. America have conquered lands and people. Right. Right? Some of the people they conquer were our people. Mm-hmm. That's just the reality. That's what empires do, right? And so I said this, when a conqueror comes to a land, guess what's in the land? There are plenty wealthy men and plenty gangsters in the land. Right. When the conqueror comes, but the conqueror conquers them all. Right. Right? So the mindset of the conqueror is elevated above the rich man and also above the gangster. Right. Because when the conqueror comes, I said there are gangsters and wealthy men in the land that have to succumb to the conqueror's mindset. We don't understand that. We've never seen that. Right? Yeah. So me operating in that makes me the outsider, like I said earlier. Right? What is he doing? I mean, they're unfamiliar by the way that I move. A lot of times in our community, because of how the conqueror moves, if you're not used to that, our community will look at that and say he thinks he's all that, or he thinks he's better than somebody else. Right? Right? Yeah. Because they're conditioned to believe that we are not supposed to be in that thought process, to think of ourselves in that capacity. Right? They're conditioned to think with a slave mentality, or you're being too prideful. But if they seen a white man operate like that, they expect him to be that. They expect him to operate like a conqueror. Right. It's acceptable to them. Exactly. But for me, right, I'm prideful. I think I'm better than everybody because that's the conditioning of the mind, right? Yeah. But I had to operate like a conqueror dealing with the system because the system only respects power, right? So I'm the only one that have changed state law when it comes down to police accountability. No one has done it in the country, right? I led Washington State with a lot of other organizations, but under my leadership because it started with my organization, not this time. And we led them and led Washington State and being the first and only state with a police accountability law, right? We changed the law. And not only is it changed, it's effective because the first time in the history of Washington State, an officer was charged, convicted, and sent to prison. Now he's in prison right now doing 17 years because of the law that we got changed.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I did that with the mind of a conqueror. So I said that the system or the government don't respect victims. When I was coming to the community, I'm the outsider now because I'm thinking with the mind of a conqueror, but I'm coming to the community saying, we have to operate like this. And they're saying, all they're saying is to the government or to the system, why you guys keep doing this to us? This is unfair. Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing this?
Right.
And I would say, brothers and sisters, they got into the position doing that to you.
Right.
They're conquerors. They got into the position that they're in doing it to us.
Right.
They're not going to respond to that because they expect you to be the victim that they made you to be.